we are going to do your JS DOM and Async JS. Okay, one sec. Actually, I forgot to start it on another systems. One sec. We'll start. Let me start it on my mobile also because I'm not able to see the charts and all. Okay, if I don't start it there. Okay, so that is there, and let me now share my screen. So as I told, we are going to do the JavaScript DOM today. So DOM, we are going to do it here. So in the VS Code finally. So till now, and the JavaScript we have done in JS Bin. So now we're going to do it here. Okay, so let's get started. I am here, and as I've told, sooner or later, all of you have to be good in terminal. So that's why I'm starting it with terminal. So like this, I have a folder. Okay, so this can be your Windows also. The same thing is that, but Windows, I will tell one thing: try to use the Git Bash. Try to use a Git Bash. Download the Git Bash thing. Okay, don't use a normal Windows command line. It is not a good thing. It says so because sooner or later you have to do the React also. And the React, it is very much required that you need your command line. So you have to master the command line. Not master it, at least know a bit of it. Like this, I'm in here. I will do a mkdir dom basics. Dom basics I'll do. Then I will go here and cd dom. I could have done it with non command line just like we were doing. Then I will open it with VS Code. Try to install the VS Code on your path also. Okay. So this is there, and one sec. Okay. So the first thing which we are going to do here is the creating a index dot. So till now what we have learned, it is known as theoretical part. So DOM basics. DOM is what? JavaScript DOM programming. So the DOM programming is the what? The main thing. How to do the DOM programming, we're going to learn it. So it is not like that JavaScript we learn is only for the DOM programming, because JavaScript is used with React also. So it is not always that you have to learn it with the for the DOM programming. Sometimes what happens, people find DOM programming very tough. A lot of my students also find DOM programming very tough. But when they go to React, they find that okay, React is very much easier. Okay, so that is like that. So index.html I have done, then not I'll do, and then here I'll have a style.css also, and main.js also, and let me increase the font size. So I think this is a good font size, and I will write a DOM basics. I'll write, and we will link the CSS here. Okay, so then what? Okay, and at the end I will add the JavaScript file also. So why did I added the JavaScript file at the end? That's a very big question. Why did someone add JavaScript file at the end? So we add the JavaScript file at the end because see what happens. JavaScript is by default a blocking, not a blocking language. It's not a blocking language. But what happens when we use it with HTML? If I add the JavaScript, just like at where I've added the CSS file. Okay. So what will happen until the JavaScript is completely loaded? Until the JavaScript completely loaded, the website will not load. So suppose my JavaScript file has got 1,000 lines. It's a very big, and it does some API call and all those things. So suppose that thing takes 2 to 3 seconds. So my website will even not start before that. Even the website will not start before that, before the JavaScript is done. So it will be done only after the JavaScript is done. So that's why we always put JavaScript at the end, because what is the use of JavaScript? To click some button, to do some API call, but let the website be loaded first. Let the images be loaded first. Then let the website be loaded first. Then we will look into JavaScript. JavaScript is always given just before the body is ending. So that is the reason JavaScript is given here. Okay, so that is there, and let me actually copy. Okay, so now after this I will have the structure. I will have the structure first. Okay, so structure. Okay, structure anyways. why to write the structure, because we are here to learn the JavaScript, not the HTML and all. So let me copy the structure itself also, and I will explain it. So what is the, so there is a header tag is there, in which a DOM for beginners is there, it's a semantic tag. Then I have a section is there. So section have this class of container. Okay, section have this class of container, and then this section is ending here. And inside this section, the main thing is that I have a form. I have a form in this. There's an empty div. We'll come back to that later on. And then we have some divs with the name and email we have, and we have a button is there. Okay. And then we have a empty UL is also there, and one UL is there which I have commented out. I'm going to soon going to uncomment it. Okay. So that is there. Let me go live also. Okay. Then we open it here. 127. Let us have some styles also, because we are not going to learn much about CSS also again, because this is the main thing. This is the DOM programming we are going to learn, how the JavaScript is used in the mainly the browser. So this is the programming which is nowadays not used that much, because we use JavaScript always through React, not through the DOM programming. We use JavaScript because JavaScript is not suited for big projects. Okay, small projects and all we end that we can, even a bit of big projects also we can do. But in most company you will not find using pure JavaScript for a production project. It is always React or Angular or Vue.js. Nobody uses pure JavaScript, but we can do a lot of projects, and it is a must to learn React also. You should have some 5-10 projects under your belt, under your portfolio. You should have those projects. Then only means anyways interviewer is also going to ask you some JavaScript questions also, and he will be impressed, he will be impressed if they see your JavaScript project. So again, this thing is there. I'm not going to explain it much, because this is not a CSS tutorial right now. So this is the CSS which I put. So it is showing this form as a nice form, which you've seen it was uglier earlier. So okay, so let's get started with JavaScript now. Okay, so JavaScript, whether this all JavaScript comes from. Okay, there is a, so see, console.log of window. I'll save it, inspect it, and if I go to the console, see this window is coming. So JavaScript got access to this all the DOM elements and all. So this window is there, and then in this window I'm seeing a lot of things are there. See, JavaScript gives us access to a lot of things. It gives us access to a lot of things, and like this on focus, document dot document, it gives us access, and a lot of other things. So JavaScript with this JavaScript in this browser, in the elements, it gives us a lot of access, and that's why it is very much powerful. And sometimes it is also very much powerful than React also. But React, there are some use cases. I was today I was in some Facebook group. Someone asked again, the actually some freshers always this feels like, why React? Why cannot we use vanilla JavaScript in doing everything? No, we cannot use it. It is not scalable. 10 people cannot work in one single project. And you're going to see, when you're going to see React, you're going to love it. Means it is so much easier than JavaScript also. It is much more easier than, it's a JavaScript library. All the ES6 concept will be used in React. Next week is React week. But the thing is that it is much more easier to learn. It is much more scalable. We can divide the components into small chunks, and it is faster also. One of the main things that it is very much faster. That's why it is used in Facebook. It's very much faster. It has something known as a virtual DOM, so it is very much faster. Okay, so let's not get the two away from what we are learning here, and let's learn this thing, because learning this thing is also very much important. DOM programming. So the first thing which we are going to do, we are going to grab a single element. So because later on, the main thing is here. The main thing here is that whatever the user types here or here, I want to get that, and then submit it to the backend. Backend, we are not going to do programming, but at least we need to get that. So to get that thing also, we need to understand how we grab elements in JavaScript. Okay, so I'll come here and grab single element. Okay, const from equal to document dot get element. element by id, get element by id, and yes, get element by id, and I will have it my form. So what I've just done, what is this my form? So if I come here, there is a id of my form in the form, id of my form in the form, and I'm getting document dot get element by id. This is a thing, get element by id. This is a JavaScript DOM, and this is a DOM function is there. So document is the whole document. Document is the whole document, which when we are doing the Windows, it is we have access to this. So we have access to this document dot get element by id and my form I have done. Okay, so now I'll do a console.log of form. Okay, this I'll do, save it. See, whole of the form is been selected. Whole of the form is been selected. One sec. Good evening all. Okay, so okay, so this is how we select a single element. See what single element I have selected here. Whole of the form I have selected with this thing. So there are ways to select a single element. There are ways to select a multiple element also. The single element is selected like this. Get element by id. There is another way to select select single element, and that is with the query selector. So we'll do the console.log document dot query selector, and I'll do the dot container I'll do, and another thing okay, I'm directly doing the console. I'm not creating another thing. So console.log document dot query selector and icon. So what is the difference between get element id and get a query selector? So query selector is very much generic. Get element by id, I have to get the, I can get the element which is by id only. So like this, it has got id, and here it is very much generic. So query selector dot container why I have taken dot, because dot is a class. It's a class, that's why dot container I have taken, and then the h1 I have taken. So h1, okay, one more thing is that I can choose the labels also, like h1, h2 and all this. But the one thing is that you'll see that there are two h1s in this thing. This is h1, this is h1. Which h1 it will choose? It will choose the first h1. Okay, so delete it, and now I will save it. So you'll see that form is selected and this container is selected, whole container, because I'm selecting this container, and the last is this h1 dom for beginners. So this one is selected. So that is like this, and then we are going to see how to select multiple elements. Okay, for that what we are going to do here, I'm going to come here and we will uncomment it. I will uncomment it, and now I'll save it. I'll get all these three things. Now we are going to learn how to select multiple elements. How to select the multiple elements. So this was grab the single element. I will not comment this out. Okay. Now I will do select multiple elements is there, and console.log document.query selector all. This is different. Query selector all I have given. This is not query selector. Query selector all. Dot item. What is this dot item? Dot item is this three classes. Dot item. This is the dot item. This is the item class. So I'm not three. So the item class I have selected. So I'll save it. See. Now it will come. Okay. So one thing to tell here is that so it comes as an array. Okay. It comes as an array kind of a thing. It is not an array. Kind of an array. So this thing is known as a node list. See, it is like an array, but not an array. It is known as a node list, a special kind of a thing in the DOM only. So this node list is there. So if I do it like this, okay, node list is, what is a node list then? What is a node list actually? So node list is answer to something similar to array. And if you want to see anything, what is node list, you can do it like this. And in the prototype, you can see what are the functions which are available in a node list. So we have entries, we have for each, item keys. For each we have not seen in detail, means we have not seen at all. for each way is going to see in ES6. It's a very very advanced way of for loop, and very it is used a lot. It is used a lot actually. Nowadays programs use a lot. It is very easy to loop through also, and React and all. We're going to use this a lot also for each. Okay, so all these things are there. Now, if you see, I was telling it's a node list. I'll show one thing. Console dot log of. I'll do an empty array. Okay, empty array, just an empty array I'm doing. I want to see something. I want to show something. So this empty array is there, and if I come here, so the prototype is there. See, the prototype has so many functions. Arrays are actually very powerful. They have so many push, pop, all the things are there. But in a node list, if you come, you see it has got so less function. This is something it is there. Okay, node list. So query selector all will give us a node list. Now there is another thing like get elements. Again, the get elements is also there. So I will again do that. Document dot get element of ID. Get elements, not mn. Get elements. S is there. Okay, S is there. Get elements by class name. So by ID is there, by class name is also there. So item I have to do, and I will do. So this item I'm selecting now. And another thing is get elements by tag name also you can do. Get elements by tag name, and it is li. But here, see this, every time you have to remember this thing. Get elements by tag name, get element by class name. Here query selector is a generic thing, you give it, and for classes you give dot, for IDs you give hash, and for normal h1 h2 anything you directly give it. Okay, so this is like this. I will save it. Now what is happening? Now the thing is that we are getting something known as a HTML collection. Okay, HTML collection I'm getting. So what is this HTML collection? Okay, okay, so this is not an advice class and all, so that is for something else. Connect with me on LinkedIn or somewhere else. This is a class in which I'm explaining something, so advice cannot be given here. Okay, so that is there. Okay, so the other thing is that, okay, so see, this has given me something known as HTML collection also. So what is this HTML collection? Actually, HTML collection even worse than node list. If I go here and if I select here, I don't have only 2-3 things. See, node list, I was having so many things. And one of the most important thing in node list is this for each thing. Okay, we are going to see now what is this benefit of this for each. Okay, so for seeing that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show how to iterate over this, like array and all. We have to iterate over it. So I will comment this out, but constant node items equal to, why this is there. Okay, got it. Const okay, so we are taking this them in a variable. Now let iterate over them. Let iterate over this node item. So how do we iterate over this node item? So I'll do this node items, and then dot, I'm selecting this node item dot for each. So for each is a special kind of for loop which is very easy to do like this. After this I'll do an item, then I will do like this, and then console dot log of item and do, so like this I'll do, save it, and it will give me the 3 items. Okay, now I will try to do the same thing with the, and this for each I'm going to explain again in the ES6. It is very important. So call items, I do, save it. So see, it is giving me an error. For each is not a function. Actually, we have seen this thing. It gives us a HTML collection. In the HTML collection, for each is not there. Okay, so that is there, and Okay, that's a good question. It is mandatory to learn jQuery with JavaScript. No, jQuery was used 10 years back. I also don't know Java jQuery. jQuery was used 10 years back. Okay, so it is the age of React. See what jQuery was at one time. Today that is React. JavaScript at that time also 10 years back also means before 2010. JavaScript at that time also was not, because JavaScript from 1995. Okay, so this DOM programming is there from 1995. So at that time also nobody used to use JavaScript directly. They used to use this jQuery a lot. Okay, so jQuery was used till 2010. Nobody uses it in the industry anymore. jQuery replacement is only React, but it is 100 times more powerful, and all those things are there. But jQuery used to look a lot like JavaScript only. Means those things were like that. You have to include one thing, and I don't know much about jQuery because I am also not that much old. At 2010 technology, I know. Okay, and at that time I was not also doing web development at that time, so that's why I never touched jQuery. Okay. So that is there. So this is not working here. Okay, so how to work it then? So we cannot do this like this. So we can use the for loop, the traditional for loop, for that I equal to 0, I is less than call button. And so if we don't have this, we have to use it like the traditional for loop. Okay, traditional for loop will work here. So but this will not work. So see, this is the for each and this is the traditional for loop. So how easier it is, and I'm going to tell this later on also, this thing. Okay, so that is there. Then let us go forward, and again I will comment this out, comment this out, comment this out. So now we'll learn about DOM manipulation. Const ul equal to document dot query selector dot items. I'm going to do. Okay, so what is this dot item? Dot item is the dot items is this ul. Okay, and I can have something like this ul dot remove, and like this, save it, and the it will be removed. Okay, so that is there. So removing is like this. But now we are going to learn one more thing, which is like, suppose okay, I have again I have added, I can also change all of these things. See, JavaScript is very much powerful. I can change this item 1, item 2, item 3, the content of it. How do I change the content of it? Let us see that. Okay, so I'll come here and do a ul dot first. So there are a lot of way to do that. First element child. So ul dot first element child dot text content equal to, let me do it, html. Text content is html. Save it. See, it has done to html. So ul dot first element child means the first, anyways the ul is choosing the items. This items it is choosing. The first element child is this, the first l1, and then the text content means whatever the text, whatever it is between this first item, it is the text content. So text content I'm changing it to html. So that is there. So there are 2 3 other ways also to do it. So the other way is like this, ul dot children I'll do, and so it's a children array. You will have a children array. So it is like this. This is 0, this is 1, this is 2. So I'll make the 1 because I want to change the second one. Dot inner text is css. Inner text and text content are almost similar. So inner text and text content. So I'll do this, and inner text is css. Now it's the turn of item 3. Item 3 we are going to change. So ul dot last element child is also there, but here I'm not taking the text content. Here I'm not taking the inner text. Both of them I'm not taking. I'm taking something known as inner HTML. How different it is. See what is happening. Inner HTML is actually very powerful. Inner HTML, I can pass a HTML. Whole HTML document also I can pass. Whole HTML document I can pass, and that will be shown here. That will be shown here. Okay, so that is like that. And see, if it will interpret it. If I try to do this thing here like this, h1, it will not even change it. Inner text and inner text under will not even change it. But inner HTML, I can give the complete HTML there. Okay, so this is like this, it will work. So that is there. Now we are going to see, we can change the styles also. See, JavaScript is again very much powerful, as I'm telling. You can change the style also. This was a text we're changing. Now we will change the CSS also through JavaScript. So I'll come here and then const button equal to document dot query selector dot button. I have done dot button, I have chosen. So what is this dot button? This dot button is this one. This button I have chosen. Then btn dot style dot background color equal to red. So btn dot style dot background color. And one thing to notice here is that it is a camel casing. I cannot give a dash here. So dash here is even not possible. So I have to give the camel casing here. So button style, it is going to change and it is going to make it red like this. Okay. So like then button dot style dot text transform into uppercase. It is uppercase. So like this, you can do any style, you can give it like this. Okay, so that is there. Then now we're going to look into one of the very important thing here. So the event listener. Event listener was the reason for which actually JavaScript was created, to add the event listener, to add some click event to the button and all those things. So that was the real thing about the creation of JavaScript. Okay, so we are going to do that now. So for that, what we are going to do, event listener const, the const button is already there, I think. Yeah, const button is already there. So let me not change it. btn dot add event listener. So what is this add event listener? Okay, so add event listener is again something which JavaScript gives us. Add event listener, and then there are different kind of event listener like click event listener and other, but the most common is a click event listener. Then it takes a second parameter also, in which we call a function. I can create a function here also, I can create a function outside also. We'll see how to create a function outside also. So here I'm creating the function here only. Very common way. Most of the time you'll see people creating the function here only. So I've created it here. Now I'll do a console.log of e. What is this e? E is a very powerful thing. Whenever we have some event listener, we get access to e, and with through e we can get access to a lot of things. Okay, so I'll do this e, and then let me click here and let me see what is happening. When I click here, actually it came for 1 sec and it had gone. See, if you see, so why is this happening? This is happening. There is no problem here, but the problem is here. This button is not a normal button. This is a input type submit button. And I think I have told this earlier also, means the input type submit button, it reloads the page, it's reload the page, because this is from the old PHP world. Old PHP, what used to happen, we used to send the data like this, but in JavaScript it's a very bad thing, in React it's a very bad thing, that the input type submit, it's refreshes the page. It's a very bad thing in JavaScript, because JavaScript everything is a variable which is stored there only. React, it is even bad thing, the state and all those things we're going to maintain there. So how to stop this thing? So this is the default behavior, and this is from the past 25 years, means 20 more than 20, means how much Java is 20, 27 years. Okay, so this is there. So because JavaScript, when it was released, it was used to work with PHP. Okay, now PHP is not used in the backend anymore. Okay, so there I'll come here and do the, there is a thing known as e.prevent default. E.prevent default means the default behavior, you prevent the default behavior. I'll save it. Now if I submit it, now I will get access to E and see closely here this thing, not refreshed. There it was refreshed. So I get access to this E, and E is actually very powerful. E is what you get access to almost everything with E. A lot of things, you get access. Client text lines, E dot event, E dot target. So E dot target. I'll show one thing. E dot target, and we're going to see later on also that it is a very powerful thing. Submit it, and see E dot target is this whole, this thing is been done. Okay, so that is there. Then what I'm going to do here, so let me do one thing here. I will actually do one thing. I'll cut it. We don't want either target now. Wait. So now again we have item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4, item 3. I'll submit it and it is going to change, because I put all these things inside that the first element, child, and all these things. So the moment I submit it, it will be changed. Okay, so that is there. Now beside this click, we have something like mouse over. Also a lot of other things are there, like mouse over and all is there. So mouse over is what, the moment I move my mouse over here, it will change. So this is a mouse over. But as you might have seen, we will use a click only. Most of the times we are going to use the click, because that is the most common thing. A button is there, you click, the click will be happening. Okay, so that is there. So now it's the, now is the time to do a very small kind of a project here. So what is this project again? Okay, the first thing which I'm going to do is again comment this out. Okay, that is a small kind of projects, and that project is like, I want whatever, and that project can be used everywhere, because all the places, if you suppose this is a form like input form or something, you enter the name and the email, then you submit it, then the program or us, we should be able to get what the user have entered, because that thing will only go to the backend. Generally what happens, whatever the user enters, so you go to facebook.com, you type your name, you type the password, you click on submit, then Facebook have to know somehow what you typed. So that is the programming, that part of the programming is very important, and that is done in the front end. Then the data will be catch, and then that will be sent to the backend. So that programming is very much important. So that is something which we are going to learn now. So and that was the thing for which we were doing all these things, and that is the main part of today's programming. Okay, so again what I'm going to do, I'm going to comment all of these things out, because I'm going to have another event listener also. I'm going to comment this out, and evening Ananta, const my form equal to document dot query selector and my form. So I'm going to select some of the things like the document query selector, my form I'm selecting, then const name input equal to document dot query selector hash name. So what is this name? See, name also have an ID. And one more thing I want to tell, see, this IDs and all are used a lot in JavaScript programming, and this classes and all are used to style out. Although it's not a hard and fast rule, and we always, you'll see that we'll always do the other thing like this class message, I'm going to choose it with that message. But most of the time you'll see that IDs are very much used in JavaScript programming. Okay, I mean DOM programming, you'll see do the query selector hash something and like that. Okay, so that is there. So this name input I'm done. Then const email input is email, this email. Then const msg equal to document dot query selector dot msg I'm going to do. Okay, what is this dot msg? Dot msg is this empty div. We have taken this empty div for a reason. Actually, this dot msg is taken for a reason, and we're going to see that reason. Dot msg, and then const user list is document dot query selector hash users, and this is again an empty ul which is outside the form. We have taken that for a reason, and we're going to see what reason is there. So I'll save it, and now we have to listen for form submit, listen for form submit, and my form dot add event listener submit and on submit. See here, I was creating the function here only, but here what is there? I can call a function here, and this function I have to create it here. Function like this I have to create it here, and I will get the e again. Again I will get the e which I was getting here. I'll get the e, and like this I get. And why this submit event listener? See, whenever I am anything is inside a form, there is a benefit of it. This input button is there, so this will have a click event listener which is there in every button. Click event listener is in every button, not in this only the form button, every button. But this form button has a special type of event listener which is known as submit, because we are submitting the form. Okay, so submit event listener is there. So on submit I'm going to do e, I'm going to do, and then e dot prevent default, I'm going to do e dot prevent default, I'm going to do. Okay. Then come here and do a console dot log of name input dot value. So e dot prevent default we have to do, but this name input dot value is what we're going to see. So I'll go come here, do the inspect, do the console, and here I'll do the name, and then I will submit it. So it will run only when I'm submitting. I'm submitting. See, now when the Vishwas is coming. So this is the way we get the whatever the user enters. So we have a query selector, and then we have this value. So when I submit, I want to get it at that time only. So name input dot value will contain that thing. Email input dot value will contain whatever the user enters in the email. Okay, so that is there. Now the next thing which we are going to do is okay. So that is the thing which we are going to get, but we are going to do a small bit of validation also. Generally, the validations are done by some external library and all, but we are going to do it here. This validation. Okay, so I'll come here and do if name input dot value equal to this, or email input dot value equal to this. So what is this? So this is like a empty string. It means when I'm submitting it, the user have entered nothing. Either both of them is blank or one of them is blank. Okay, so that is there. Then I'll come here and like this. What I'm going to do? I'm going to do a msg dot class list dot add array. Okay. So why I'm doing this message dot class list dot add array. So class list is something through which you can add a class in any existing something like this. What is this message? Message is, I'm going to show that also. What is this message? Message is this div. Okay. And why I'm adding a class list of error? There is a error class here. This, see this error class is background color and all these things is there. It will make a box, square box it will make. Okay. So I'm adding the error class, and I'll do one more thing. I'll do a msg dot inner html equal to, please enter all fields. We are going to do inner html equal to, please enter all the fields. So I'm going to show what is happening here. So inner html also I'm changing. See, this message doesn't have any inner html. This one doesn't have any inner, so it is just like this. So let me show one thing. Go to the element body section form. See, this message class is there, which is a empty, nothing is there, just a message class is there. Suppose I enter my name, but I didn't enter the email. Then I'll submit it. See what happened here. Error class was added. How the error class was added? Error class was added with this command, message.classlist.add error, and it has gone inside because email was empty. Error it has added. Then message.inner html. Where is this inner html? Inner html is here. Inner html was also added. But the problem here is that it is going there forever. It is not leaving here. So we are going to remove it. How we are going to remove it? There is a very good function known as set timeout. I'm go here and do a set timeout. Is like msg dot remove 3 seconds. So what does that mean? It means remove error after 3 seconds. It means that remove error after 3 seconds. How to remove the error? Actually, it will remove the whole of the message class also. The whole of the message class it will remove. And I'll save it. Now again, it is like this. See, this message class is there. See very closely. I'm giving the email only, okay, and then I'm submitting it. Please enter all the messages with 1, 2, 3 gone. This is how this even that is gone. Okay, this is how it is done. Now this was the error, but what if the user enters both of the things and submit it? What we're going to do? In most cases, what will happen? In those cases, you submit it to the backend. But we're not creating any backend or something here. I just want to show it below. How are I going to show it below? So I have created a UL of ID users here. Okay, so we are going to show it there. ID users, we are going to show it here. So again, I go to the main and I'll create a else part, and then else I will have a const ally equal to document dot create element ally. See, JavaScript is very much powerful. I am not only I can change some HTML. I can also create a HTML. I am creating a ally. This command means document dot create element ally. Okay, ally. Then what I'm going to do? I am going to add a inside that ally I have to add something, and I will add what the user enters. So inside that ally I have to add something. So how to add something is a bit not difficult, but it's a bit different. So now const equal to document dot create text node. So there is something known as document dot create text node. Okay, in that what I'm going to do, so I'm using this backtick thing which I have already taught. name input dot value and email input dot value. Just I'm showing it. So you're going to I'm going to show what I'm exactly doing here. So then I'm going to do the ally dot append child text. Okay, ally dot append child text. So what I'm doing here, whatever the text was there, I'm appending it to ally. I'm going to show it in this element what I'm doing actually. Then I'll do the user list dot append child ally. Let me save it. Now again quickly watch this thing. Watch this thing. Watch this UL. Watch this UL now. We are going to change in this UL. Okay. So I'll do Navendu. I'll give my email and I'll submit it. See what happened just now. It has come here. So again, let us go through it again. So this time the user entered both of the things. So it will come to the else part. Else part, it will come. First thing what it is going to do, it is going to create an ally. Document dot create element ally in the memory somewhere it is creating. Then it will create a text because I want to have to pass the text here. Document dot create text node input value and email value it will create, and that is something it is creating like this. Then both of these things are in two different location. Okay, one is at A location, one is at B location. Both of them are in the memory and at two different location. Not in this program also, not here also. Both of them are in two different location. That is what I'm going to do. Ally dot append child text means the child of ally is this text. It means that ally tag inside this it will be done. Now also it is in the in somewhere else in the memory. Now I am going to do user list dot append child ally because user list already is in the program. So user list dot append child ally I am going to do means it is the inside this UL the ally will be created. So this is how it will be done. Okay, so that is there. And okay, one sec. I didn't create it. Let me give the Google form because we don't have time for anything else after this, and this, something more is left here. Okay, one sec. I'm not. Okay, mark your attendance here. Okay, so please mark your attendance here. So that is there. Let me see something. Yesterday something happened, and okay, so today it is working good. Okay, so that is done. Attendance is given. Okay, so now what will happen if I add another thing? Okay, one more. There is an error here. Not an error, but something is missing like this. See, I have added this thing. Then also this thing is showing. This is not a good user experience. If you had entered some form, you will always see that after the form is entered, this is generally clear. Automatically, it is clear. How do they automatically? It is not automatically. It is programmatically. We have to do something. So I'll go here and do the name input dot value is the empty string and email input dot value is the empty string. Save it. Okay. Now what will happen? I will again I will check it here what is happening. It will add a ally. Then again it will add another ally here. And if you go here, so it will do like this. So this is how it is working. Okay, so this is how it works. Okay, let me do one thing. Okay, I'll do one thing. Okay, in 10 minutes I think I can wait a sec. I cannot do the next topic, but I can do one thing. Okay, converter. Let me create a very basic app. Okay, and I will tell what it is. One sec. Let me. This was not a part of the plan, but I thought why not in 10 minutes. do a basic app. Okay, JavaScript. Okay, so I'll do this. I will get rid of this, and I will do a cd dot dot and mkdir converter converter cd converter and open it with VS Code. So I'm creating a very easy converted app in 10 minutes. Okay, so let's create it in 10 minutes, and I'll do a index.html style. Although we don't need the style.css much, I will tell why we don't need the style.css, and main.js. Okay, so this is a very small app, converter app. So I'll come to this index and do this and converter. I'll have the link CSS script main.js. Yeah, and let's have some again. I will have a okay. One more thing which I'm going to have. So this is a small app, and quickly we're going to do. I generally don't prefer Bootstrap, but here I'm using a Bootstrap because it is not about CSS. So this is how you add Bootstrap. And Bootstrap, when you add, you need to have something like okay. So let us quickly have a div and all. Maybe I don't want to write it. Div container. Container is actually a Bootstrap class. Okay, those who don't know, container is actually a Bootstrap class. Okay, so after this, okay. Inside this converter, what is it? Okay. I to explain what is there. So inside this div, I have a class of container, and inside this body, I have a div of class of container. Then I have this h1, and this is all Bootstrap classes. See, when we use Bootstrap, we don't need all this CSS and all this. I have created a CSS for a small thing. So all these classes are there, which gives inbuilt CSS. Then I have this form. Inside this, I have a weight, and then inside this I have a form group, and again these are all your Bootstrap classes, and an input is there. Cages input is very important. Number, form control, placeholder is there, and then outside that form I have something like this pound thing, and this ID is very important here. Okay, so I have a cages input and I have a this inputs. Okay, so I will okay, I have to open it like this, then it will show. So it is showing like this. See, this weight in kilogram is there. Okay, and then this pound. So the moment I will, the basic idea is that the moment I enter the kilogram, the pound will be shown. Basic idea is that. So I will go to this main.js, and here I'll first choose the KGS input, because I want to get whatever the user enters. I want to get that. Okay, so I'll do a document dot get element by id, and here I'll get the kgs input. Kgs input I'll get. Kgs input I'll do. Then dot add event listener. I'm going to have inside the I can add the event listener directly also. So in the kgs input only I'm adding the event listener. Okay, and that event listener will be, there is a event listener known as a input. Input means what? The moment the user inputs something, this event listeners will fire the moment the user enters something. I'm taking the kgs input, means this one, whatever is the input box, and the moment the user inputs something, this will be fired. Okay, so that is there. Then after that, I will have the second parameter. Second parameter I have told. What is the second parameter? Second parameter is like comma e, like this, and okay, so like this I'm going to have. Then here, the first thing, we don't need anything like prevent default or all. Let 𝐏𝐫𝐨 equal to e dot target dot value. See, e dot target dot value is again very powerful. E dot target dot value, it is also used to get the input, means whatever the user enters, e dot target dot value will give me that. So I'm storing it in a variable. Then I'm going to do what? Then this lbs output is there. I'll go here and do the document dot get element by id, and lbs output, lbs not input, lbs output dot value equal to kgs into 2 point whatever is there. This is the your kilogram to pound conversion name. Okay, so I'll save it. Now I'll go here, don't want this thing, and write my weight, and it is not firing. That is not firing. Okay, okay. Oh, that's strange. Document I'm debugging now. Document dot get element by id kgs input, kgs input but add event listener is input, e is here, save it. 22, it is not firing. Why it is not firing? Console.log inside event. It's coming here. Now after learning Bootstrap, you cannot learn Tailwind CSS, because Tailwind CSS you need to learn all Flexbox and Grid. Tailwind CSS is not like anything like. Anyways, I know a lot of influencers have told that Tailwind CSS is very good. Tailwind CSS is also bad, just like Bootstrap. See, Bootstrap, what is happening? I'm using Bootstrap, but every other site will be like this only, because this is a Bootstrap thing. I've used something known as Bootstrap card. So, do you think the Bootstrap card will be different? No, Bootstrap card will be same. So, in the industry, nobody uses Bootstrap. Okay, that is there. Okay, so what is the problem here? Let KGS is e dot target dot value that document dot get element by id lbs output. Oh, dot value. Why I'm doing this value? It's not value and all. This is inner html. Inner html. I'm going to now come here and do the 22, and it will change it to the pound. And then this css, actually we have taken this css for a reason, because sometimes you have to override whatever is coming in the Bootstrap. The color is really pathetic. In dark, you are showing a dark color. So I'm going to change this card block to white. And then this to 22, it will come here like this. Okay. So this is how a simple conversion app is been made. So this is how it is there. And so we have done a small app also soon, because we had some time. So I told you how to create a very small app. Tomorrow we are going to do async JavaScript, and then we have to start with the ES6 also. ES6 will take at least 2 days, because ES6 is a big topic and all. Means after async, maybe I will complete async in half an hour. Then we are going to do ES6. ES6 is a must for the React just which you should come for the next week. Okay, so that is there, and hope you like this all. Please do subscribe to my channel if you're liking what I'm doing. And now we're doing this live thing 2 times a day. So 3 p.m. also, so it's take a lot of effort to do those things 2 times a day. Please do subscribe, like, and tell it to your friends and all. So please do that. Okay, and with this I will end today's stream. I will see you all tomorrow at the same time for the JavaScript day 4, and we're going to do async JavaScript tomorrow. Async JavaScript and ASYS also will